right on. Good day. I didn't think you'd turn that on until I found the parts I was looking for. So I misplaced these, but I've been cleaning up and that's when things get lost. So you'll notice, post Cassidy, I've managed to clean things up. I didn't want to waste her many talents on cleaning up at the end of every shift because we really had to get the car done before she flew away. So now I've cleaned up, I've worked on my fan, I'm going to install a door latch that locks. This little extra lever, this one you can lock. The other one I put in over there doesn't lock. Fortunately, they have the same bolt pattern. Wasn't sure about that, I was told they probably didn't. Anyhow, so I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to install this. I'm going to show you how the relay works to the door handle. How the outer door handle may work when I figure out a way to make it work. So these are really good latches and it's worth the extra hassle to put them in. That's what I'm up to this afternoon. Won't be boring.
Those are called the bear claws? No.
Yeah, yes, bear claws, what I used to buy. Then somebody came out and they had bear paw. So obviously there's some kind of legal mumbo jumbo where you can get bear claws or bear paws or bear tails or whatever. But they're a good latch. They work very well. So there's many different variations, but you get the idea. So we have a striker to mount, this panel to mount, and then we've got to make the linkage work. In doors, you don't make it, that works. It's got to work 10,000 times. You have to allow for wear, slamming, tilt. You really got to do a very good job on your latching. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, I went to the other door, and it's exactly, which is the technical term I know, exactly 4 3/4 of an inch to the center where that's got to be, right? Now, as we discussed before, the glass channel goes right here. You see that? So I can't have a big mechanism in here, and the latch is a bit deep. So I'm going to put this out here, which means I've got to make a piece like I did on the other side, and it's going to sit about there. Okay, so I can, let me see, I can cut out, I'm making marks for my height, and I can trim down this plate. Okay, I'm just going to put it down so it's easier to mark, right? Okay, now there. Okay, so I'm coming all the way up to here, but I don't have to go as, it's this tall. I can cut this off up here. So anyhow, this is my initial marks. I'm going to rough cut it out, and then we'll figure out how much of this we're going to keep and how much we're going to let go. Now that Cassidy's gone, I figured I could fix the clock. I just said, no, it's not quitting time yet. So it's been kind of timeless around here, and I've been sniveling that I don't have a clock. Look what I have. Pass Scott brought this out today because I think he was sick of hearing me snivel. that my clock didn't work. But what's really cool is when you plug this in, look at that!
We have a nightlight.
That is so cool. That's awesome.
Honey now has a nightlight
Yes.
next to her bed.
That is the coolest clock I've had. That's awesome.
There you go.
So, thank you, Pat.
It's a perfect fit, and it goes right well with the hood.
It does actually. Very nice.
Bet you has a glow on it.
Right on. Cheers.
There you go. She's busy showing it.
I mean, that is really cool. You can put a wrench on the outside or a 3/8 drive inner. And this one socket, for a guy like me, is pretty handy because it's standard or metric.
And it's meant for rounded off fasteners, which
This
they run into.
Yeah, this is designed when I'm taking off rusty bolts and I mess one up. This will grab onto it. So that's pretty freaking cool.
And it will put that rusty one back on if the guy wants his original.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it would. I mean, and is that what this grabs? No.
No, this is just your standard.
This. Look at this, a thumb wrench, right? You're Canadian, it's a thumb wrench. So, crescent wrench. But, dig this. So you spin this out, standard crescent wrench. You spin that out, you turn it around. Wait a minute, what did I do wrong? So, imagine you're on your motorcycle and on your way out to a plumbing job. Well, you only have to carry the crescent, and this is the pipe wrench now. When you turn the jaw around, plus, like how come every Harley rider hasn't had one of these forever?
And there is.
And so this fits over a socket, like brilliant. How come this hasn't been done that I've seen? And then, okay, I don't know how they work. You turn direction. So you can go over a stud, put the wrench on, and you're grabbing it, and this is just cool stuff. Gear wrench. Ooh. And I didn't even know about this. This is the coolest stuff. So,
This isn't the coolest yet.
wow.
So
That is,
So I've been listening to you go on about organizing your toolbox.
well, yeah. Yes. It has been an issue.
Now this is just a sample.
Okay, what's, whoa, it's pretty heavy. Doesn't seem like an organizer. Oh,
So that's a full foam insert tray that you just drop right into your toolbox.
this is sort of what I had no idea. This is better than what I was thinking of. I was thinking of, I got those sliders and you stick the wrenches on and they fall off. And
No, somebody did the whole job for you.
this is even better. Wow. So, hey, I'm missing one. I can tell immediately. That is so cool. Look at that.
Now you take a look at that. Grab a short socket from there.
Okay.
And you see, they are nice and short.
Really short. These are like the shortest short sockets. Wow. That is cool, man. Wow. Oh, hey, and these got built-in universals on them? Well, that's kind of cool. Wow. 13/16. Oh, man, they got a whole bunch like that. That is cool.
He's like a kid in a candy store.
Well, some of these ideas are stuff you always think, wow, man, if I was making stuff, and they've done it. And I haven't seen this stuff before. This is cool.
Now, of course, the gear wrench stuff,
Wow.
readily available, a good quality product.
Yeah.
They got a decent warranty on them.
Yeah.
I'm
looking it up.
They've got lifetime warranty on most of their stuff.
That's what was really surprising to
Some
me.
stuff they do limit,
Yeah.
but most of
But
it
for
is
the most part-
lifetime warranty. If you abuse it, of course, we will laugh at you. But that's just us.
1 inch, right up to 1 inch. Yeah. I mean, you put a 4-foot snipe on it, stuff is gonna give. Not always the bolt.
Yeah. The nice thing about this is that there are literally probably more than a dozen different trays like this.
Really?
So you can custom build what you want.
Okay.
You know,
Okay, sure.
which
I
is
just,
kind of cool.
yeah, it's very cool, man. I mean, you instantly know. That's my problem is I spend so much time like, where's my half inch? Where's my 9/16?
Well, they're still going to wander around your shop.
Well, yes, but at the end of the shift,
But at the end of the shift, you're going to know what's
I
gone.
can see what's missing.
Yes.
And that's the difference. That's where, someone mentioned, a board with cutouts painted on it. Yeah, you know immediately when you're missing something. This is the
Absolutely.
same idea.
So we are gonna have to go shopping.
Ooh, this is so cool. Yes, yes. I'm gonna need one of these, that's for sure. That is
And
excellent.
you'd mentioned that the gear wrench tool that you've already bought, you like.
I'd never used one before, so I bought those. I was on the road looking on my aunt's car, and I thought, wow, these are really cool. So I liked it. So I figured I would go back and check. So I looked them up. Yeah, and they had pretty good warranty. I like that. And I got to do something with that mess. I didn't know they had this. This foam insert. That's perfect,
Yeah.
especially for a guy like me.
Well, and they've got that. For as I said, the vast majority of the hand tools that you would use, they have trays. Most of them are that size. They are just, I think they're 23.5 inches by 13.5.
So they fit in your average toolbox.
They'll
Huh?
fit in an average toolbox. They're 2 inches high.
Do they have like wrenches, open end, box end?
Yep.
They do, eh?
And you pick which type of wrench you want, because gear wrench has, they had the original gear wrench, the ones that are ratcheting,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
or they have the plain old long pattern,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're really like the ratchet wrenches.
Yeah, well, they have that, and then they have the standard wrenches that you've been using since you were 12.
Right. Yeah. And they got screwdrivers, pliers.
They got screwdrivers, they got pliers.
Wow. And do they have ways of holding them in your
Of
toolbox?
course they
They
do.
do. All right. Well, I've been meaning to get in and have a look. So, wow.
They haven't gone a whole bunch into the specialty body stuff that,
Well,
but general hand tools are pretty complete.
well, and that's a huge part of it, right? I mean, that's why, yeah, it cost me a lot of time to have something like this in my toolbox. Would save me time, and it's all one brand. A way to start over. I mean, I got shelving. I'm hopefully going to buy more shelving tonight and get organized. Start doing this right, because being on the road for 5 years, I lost so much. Mix and match.
Just quick measure that. I'm pretty sure it's just.
Okay, so you got 20 and a quarter, and this way we got 13 and 5/8.
So it's going to fit into most drawers.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 21 and a half. Oh yeah, that's great.
What about your narrow drawers?
Down here?
No, the narrow ones on the far side.
Oh,
How big are those?
they are 16, they're 15 and 3/4 inside. And that's screwdrivers stuff.
Yeah, but these trays, in order to go to those drawers, would probably have to go in sideways.
Yeah, yeah. That's right, on that end.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be bad. So, yeah, it's a, jeez, that's a nice one. Wow, I'm gonna keep that in your pocket. Anyhow,
I hang on to my typewriter.
oh yeah, I'm gonna have to, you're quite a salesman. You should be in sales.
You would think
Oh,
so. You would think so.
Yeah, because I think I'm sold. I was gonna do this gradually over time. And I
But
thought,
you can do it gradually over time.
okay, good. So, I'm keeping this.
Am I not getting that back?
Well, send me a bill. This is great. Yeah, it changes things immediately,
Yes, it does.
and it's worth it. And I'm presuming it's cheaper than some of the places we all know that pull up to your shop every week or two.
They are quite reasonably priced.
I know the ratchet I bought in socket, they were good price, so
Yeah,
I'm presuming these will be similar.
it's a similar idea. I mean, it's not the cheapest thing on the block,
No, but they're supposed to be really good, so.
but they're not made by Fisher Price.
Yeah. Did you get a rubber hammer with that set? Exactly. Yeah.
You know, they're good quality tools you can trust.
Oh, man. He's good. Okay.
He doesn't even have to haul it back to town.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. And I was welding away while he brought this in. I didn't even know he was here. He scared me.
It snuck up on him.
So, yeah. Okay.
All right.
I'm in. Thank you,
You're
Scott.
in. There you
And I'll
go.
have to go in. I want to look at the other stuff, screwdrivers, pliers, all that.
There you
But for now, awesome.
Come
So,
visit.
well, apparently, Scott is the world's greatest salesman. I was talking about organizing my toolbox. He showed up. Yeah, these are amazing. And this is what I was not talking about. I was thinking those little magnetic things or square things that you stick your sockets over to organize, but this tops all that. So I got this I want to put in. I just can't wait. But I gotta make some room for it. What am I gonna do here? You see, I had a bad, this is a great set, but they didn't have the right number of pins, right, for a set. So it was kind of awkward and didn't work. And actually, yes. Okay. When I went back to work south at another shop recently, I used to use a 5-gallon bucket because their shop was so disorganized that I didn't have room to take my toolbox down there. So I had to take my stuff in 5-gallon buckets. So I'm going to put this stuff in and make room for the new.
That's noisy.
That's a Model A fuel tank wrench. Pretty cool stuff. Anyhow, I know that. Does anybody care? Probably not, but I think it's cool. Okay. Oh, now that's an extension. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Now, this is the start. How big is this? Oh boy. Oh, look at that. Oh, should I have it sideways? I just can't even, well, it's gonna go this way, and look at that, straight up. That is amazing. So I have deep, shallow, right up to 1 inch. I got all these ones that have U-joints on them. And I mean, I wasn't planning on spending this much bread right now. Turns out they're not as bad as I thought they were. But he showed up, because he's smart, and I had to have them. So I'm gonna go in.
Did we get the crescent wrench?
No, I didn't know. I had to wait. I am going to get the very cool crescent wrench.
So Christmas is coming.
Yes, dear. I need to get pliers. I just never thought about it. I need more ratchets. I bought a gear wrench ratchet. It's in the car when I was on the road. So now I need this spot. So I got to clean out more here. But look at that. That beats that. So I am in the process of turning over a new life. A leaf, which is sort of the same thing, right? I got some shelving, gonna get more tonight. I'm really excited about this. I really wanna get dialed in. And you're so much more efficient, and it's nice to have nice
And
tools.
you can see when you lose one.
Exactly, so at the end of the day, look at that, it jumps out at you. That's really cool with an orange background, because you notice something's not right here. So, I'm really excited. I don't often get to splurge, so I had to. So hopefully Scott doesn't show up with more little cool things to show me in the near future until next payday. Anyhow, right on, I'm excited.
And
Cheers.
now you're going to finish cleaning that up.
Well, yes, but it's one of those things like when you used to buy a really cool boot, you didn't want to throw out the box. But okay, anyhow, I will carry on. I'm going to clean this up a little bit more. Yeah, and then get back to work because we don't have Cassidy anymore. Good day. Part of my new lock, Linkage. These cool little pieces I've just cut out of that. It's kind of heavy. So I gotta take these. I'm gonna go grab my latch so you can see what I'm talking about. Alright, I thought the camera was on, apparently it wasn't. So I cut out some little pieces here. I just showed a demo of what it was all about, but apparently the camera was off. So, this is the pieces I'm making that will bolt on here. Then I have to have a rod that extends across the door and up, so that when the door lock is actuated with the key, it can lock it. Just have to make sure I'm going the right way. And then from here, I'm probably going to have to come up, over, forward, and up to the little push button for the lock. And then to open the door, the push button on the door is over here. So I'm going to have to make a lever that goes behind here, very limited room, over and down. So I've got about a day on this already, working on the doors. There will be another day, and I should get this figured out. I kind of have to. Cheers. I gotta clean these parts up. I could have made this with a bit thinner metal. That's pretty thick. But again, doors have to work 10,000 times. Okay, so what happens? Not quite like this, but sort of like this. This okay, this end goes up in there. So if you put the bolt through, the door is locked, right? You move this just slightly there. Now it is unlocked. Locked. So there's a spring that goes here. That's got to be tight. It can't just move around, right? So I mean, that's part of the design, is there is a tiny little pressure spring that goes in here. It's very tiny. Anyhow, there it is. So you can see how tiny that is. I will have a variation of that. So this has to be able to move without hindrance, but not rattle around and not work. So that's what I've got to do now. So I'm going to weld a rod on here with threads out the back and a bend up for the lock. It's a bunch of dicking around, but that takes care of the lock. We have the inner latch figured out going to the door handle on the inside. And then I have to come up over, and there's a tiny little spot right about here that I've got to sneak through out to the door, forward and down. And then I'll clean up all this stuff here, you see. But not until I get that part figured out. This is, that's kind of interesting. Unfortunately, you can't bill for a lot of it because I wasn't properly prepped for this. The next one of these, it's been, I don't know, the next one, I will be better prepped for it. I didn't realize I was going to have to deal with this. So I could have been better prepared and it would have been quicker. And I would have had some pivots and some steel and some stuff sitting around here to make that work. A little more research would have been good. And generally, as silly as just a car, but when you bring a car in, usually you do a bunch of research before you get into it, before it shows up, so you're ready. Anyhow, for now, I will go find a bolt and prepare to weld on, have a spring in there, and get this all working nicely. All right, I am going to be very curious to hear if anyone has any suggestions. I'm trying to avoid these particular factory latches. I do have brand new latches. Even if you wear seat belts, it still annoys me when occasionally in hard cornering a door pops open. Now, that's not typical, but it has happened with these style latches. On the pickup trucks especially, I've noticed. Anyhow, so I am going to considerable effort to make these work. They have a lock. I've made my own mechanism. Now, the issue, it doesn't want to fit. I have my door handle. You push in, a rod comes over. It doesn't exactly make that go forward. So, I also need to make room for this. The locking linkage, which is what this is, needs to operate from here with a rod that goes up and down. So when you push down, you've got to make that rod move forward. Yeah, I don't know, sounds weird, doesn't it? So, also when you push the rod from the door handle, pushing in has got to make this go, whoop, it's locked, forward or up. Not sure I'm going to do that, but what I do know is I did all this fancy work back here, and before I did the other side, grafted this in. Yeah, it's not that fancy, but anyhow, I'm now going to cut out here and here. I need to see inside while I'm making these pieces, and I got to make this work, and it's got to work forever, and it's got to be serviceable. It's got to be something, if it ever fails, like some door handles do occasionally, you can just change parts and wear it out. You can adjust things that need to be adjusted. So that's where I'm at. That is my tale of woe. You definitely run into stuff like this, which makes you go, wow, I just managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And that's exactly what it feels like, let me tell you. But I'm going to find a way. This doesn't seem so bad on its own until you add the window track, which is right there. So what I want is I want a little more room below to have my linkage come through. And then I think I can successfully make something incredibly cool and reliable above all else. So I will show you as my journey progresses. Latch in, then we can see what we're up against, and so shall you. Hey, I'm supposed to be going into town to get some more welding welding gas. And I need to go by Pat's Auto. And it's gonna start snowing heavily, so, but this is up here right now. This I've got to get figured out first. baby. Okay, now we bolt this in. Okay. So. You can see there's the latch, there's the locking mechanism, there's the locking mechanism. Okay, well, I can shorten that a bit. I can make it go forward, but not too far. Because you can see I'm just clearing the window track as it is. Some would say this isn't worth the effort. You could argue that. I'm going to eat a bunch of these hours just because I'm enjoying the challenge. So fear not. So anyhow, when I start bending stuff up here, I'll turn the camera back on and you can see what I've come up with. So what I've started with here, some very special door linkage rod. I put a 90 in it. Stuck it through the back. I'm starting backwards. I've got to make that happen. So I'm going to come down across the back. So that means I've just marked where to put another 90. So I'm basically reverse engineering, you might call it. Yeah, sort of. Anyhow, I'm going to get back across the window and then decide what kind of a pivot I have to make to transfer this action into that action. And there's always a way. There's always a way. Okay. So far, man, highly experimentation. Experimentations. That bend should have been back here. Right back. Once I have this made up, I can either heat this up and quench it, make it hard. I could do it in stainless, I could do it in tubing, do it in any number of things, flat bar for that matter. But for now, I just want to get the geometry figured out. And it's a little custom. Okay. So. Goes up to the door handle, but it's the wrong movement. So, when I push the door handle in, I need so it was like this. I need a pivot point. So you have to imagine this is pushing this way. So I need, if you can picture, a lever. So, geez, I'll have to get the piece made up and then I'll show you. Or this, so I'm sneaking over in. I have 3/4 of an inch here. So bear with me. So I'm going to the vise. This is really cool stuff. I will bend this and come right back. Okay, I'm removing that for now. Okay. And that is going to go up. So I just have to get my geometry down, so I'm going to put a swivel, and when I push on the door handle, it's going to lift up. You'll see, trust me. I am getting there. My latest trick, I will show you. Okay, so we are taking the latch out to do a little bend to it. But of course we are. So, right now, this part of the latch, when I put my super duper Smith built piece through, this is pretty close to the window which runs in here. Just to show you. I don't know. Maybe we'll delete all this because it's kind of freaking boring to most people. But you can see this is pretty tight. So I'm going to bend this out just a little right from here so that this now comes out here. And that changes everything. So I'm not going to be hitting the window because the glass is right in this track. So just a little thing I have to do. So now you can see this. I wish I was out in the shop and the door sitting on a table so we could play around and show this a bit better. But this, there has to be a pivot welded on here so that when you push the button this way, this lifts up. Whoop, it's locked. This is going to go click and open. And then we drill the end and put a washer, got our key through it, a plastic metal clip. There's many different types of clips that go on there. But anyhow, we're a long way from being done, but we are on the way. Yes. Okay. And now we are all the way up by the door handle, so now we simply have to install a pivot that when the button pushes in, then we have some kind of an arm that lifts up, which would be, if you can imagine this, if you pushed on, okay, say it was sitting the other way. If you had a pivot and you pushed here, this side would come up. So if I mount something like that, it's going to be that easy. I'm going to try not to cut apart this $150, $200 latch that goes into my stock supply. But I'm going to make something, probably a little beefier. And we're going to make this work. So as always, there's some refinement. So I've got this working. So we have a pin that comes off the door handle. It will basically be a wedge. And when it goes in here, it will lift this. But I want to make this have less play. So I'm now going to run it over here and up and over and back. Sounds pretty weird. You'll see when I get it done. This is a lot of monkeying around, but it's going to be way cool. And it's this heavy rod. I will heat it up. I will make it harder. This will last as long or longer than the factory. It has to. So this is what I'm doing. Okay, dig this. Right? So now I put a piece of flat bar out here facing the pin. And when you push the pin, I'll just close this. It'll be a wedge and lift it up. Okay, it's way cool. Far out. And I do have to put a guide, tack a couple things on. I am not done yet, but I soon will be. So I'm going to grind this off and we shall carry on. We're almost there. And then once we have this one, Well, we just make one more. Heck, maybe I should make 4 more. Okay. All right, this is not your typical build. We could have easily gone with the factory. I didn't want to, didn't like it. So what it looks like after a whole bunch of different attempts is I'm going to do something like this. On each side, this will sit in the middle on a pivot with bushings, and it'll have a ring to go around that. And then when you push the button of the door handle, it'll pivot, lift up, which will lift this up, and when I unlock the door, it'll open. So what I'm doing right now is I'm making 4 of these. I've got 2 cut out for now. I will make 2 more, because if it does work, then they're already cut for the other side. I'm going to have to make this particular piece for the other side. Now, this is going to open inside the car, the inner door handle. This outer door handle, this, boom, it's going to open that. Now, this is the lock. So somehow, I have to make this come forward when you push down. I'm going to weld a rod that goes out to the door and up. And it's very close to what stock had. So on the lock, it'll lock, unlock. Wow, that's not very descriptive. Anyhow, I just wanted to sort of give you an idea of how incredibly, outrageously time consuming, and of course a lot of this is just on me because I enjoy trying to figure out a different way of doing things. So this is going to be all one solid piece with pivots, and then it bolts into the door as a unit. And then of course our glass track goes right past here, right? There is so much going on. I could have gone with the stock, but I've had them fail in vehicles I drove. I used to drive a 57 Pontiac. I think it was the first car I had registered on the road. So I wanted to avoid those. This has got some power. It's going to be twisting and torquing. Lyle does use the power he has, so I want to be ready for it. This, hopefully, what I'm designing here has to be, this is heavy steel, heavy rod. It'll be tempered because this has to work forever. And even I'm impressed by these aftermarket. It's fairly rigorous, tough. You know, it's good size steel. The stuff I'm putting in is just a little bit thicker, because if there's a failure, it's not going to be from something I did, is my idea. Okay, so I'm going to carry on with zip cutting and just marking out the pieces. It's been a bit of a trying couple days, just because trying to, you know, it's very interesting, but we don't have all the time in the world, because even though it's not costing the customer a lot, I'm having a good time, but so what? Again, don't want to be a non-profit organization. So anyhow, we get this cut out, all 4. The idea being there's going to be a hole in the end here, and put a pin through there, and that's what that fancy latch will pivot on, right? So, and I'm going to smoothen this out. Anyhow, it's kind of cool. Like when it's all done, I'll be happy with it. I just wish it had been done yesterday. So, here we go. Okay, now I know what this rod's supposed to look like this. So I just make one more. Okay. So, making one of these. But just opposite. Now, okay. That's 90. Oh, excellent. Now, this is a little difficult. What is the distance? A little lower. Okay, so this one bends that way, so this one's going to come this way. I know it's pretty technical. I've made a lot of door handles from scratch, mostly to get a different look. They can take days. Generally don't recover my costs, but I have a great time. Whoop. Ooh, gonna have to tighten this up a little more. Get that coming more forward. So, I'm using this as my guide. Yeah, okay. So far so good. Once I get it built, ooh, I went a little over 90. So, I'm gonna have to set that down for a moment. Here more. Okay. Jeez. Okay. First one took 4 hours, second one took about 5 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. So, I will now go and make some other pieces for the first latch. Well, that's dull. Sharpening drill bits is an interesting chore. I learned in one of the trade schools I went to. It's a bit of an art, but it can be done. We're going to try this. See if I still got it. Okay, I think there's 9 different parts to a drill bit, and most drill presses will have a line on the rest in front to show you the angle for the drill bit to be proper. Okay, so what I'm up to here, where's my stripper bolt? Shoulder bolt, stripper bolt, this. So machined outer surface. Ooh. So, it touches evenly everywhere, everything's machined, it's drilled. It's nice, smooth action. So, I'm going to weld this into my lever on the latch. I'll show it to you. So I'm probably going to cut these arms apart. I'm going to put this in the middle, weld it in. Then I'm going to use this bolt to bolt it to the plate on the back of the latch. Roughly, so it's going to sit like that. Right? So the thread will come through. Anyhow, that's what it looks like. Okay, now we'll do some cutting to length here and some other stuff. All right. Now we got to tap that. This, I'm debating still whether to drill and put in brass bushings. I have done that with other handles. Thing is, if I make this all bolt together and it gets driven for 10 or 12 years, it can come apart and be repaired. Whether or not I put in bushings just means I would have to change a part instead of just a bushing. And I'll argue that out with myself here over the next few days. Okay, so we'll carry on with this for a while. And we'll cut this bushing to length. And then I'll come back to you. All right, I have a plan. Quite a plan. I made another one of these grapple grommets to match this one. Here is a working latch. This, the door handle is going to be out here, and you push the door handle, it goes boink, and it's going to lift this piece up. So, the first one took several hours to figure out. Second one we made in a few minutes. This is what the door handle thing is going to poke against. And that's going to lift it, right? So what I did, I went to town yesterday, stripper bolts or shoulder bolts. There you go, machine surface. So I just drilled out a bushing to see how it's going to work. So that's nice. But I want bushings, brass bushings. So it's going to be something like this, so that when I tighten up the bolt and you push the button, it goes boink, boink, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going back to town, even though we got several inches of snow. I'm going to get longer stripper bolts. I need a longer shoulder by 1/4 inch, and I'm getting brass bushings to slide over it, so that once this is built, if it wears out in 10 years, it can be serviced. That's important. It's got to work 10,000 times. So, I have it. It's taken me days to figure out. That's on me. I enjoy this as much as I've used a whole bunch of golf words. I will maybe show you some video. I've made my own scratch-built door handles, varying designs. Can Dig It make some really nice ones. I made some that are different. That inspired me to try a few different things. So I've spent a lot of time working trying to build ultimate door handles, and it can be a little frustrating, but you learn a lot from it, and to me it's worth it in the end. So Lyle only has to worry about walking over, pushing his door handle, and it works perfectly every time. He doesn't pay for all the research and development because I'm doing this and I'm digging it. Though, if you were upstairs listening to me, you might not think that, right, Lou?
Yes.
So, it is a win. I don't have time to show you this today. I'm going to get this together tonight or tomorrow morning, but we're going to put up and show you what's going on. So, anyhow, that's it. It's been worth it. It's been tough. I've also got some more shelving, and I'll be setting that up tonight, and we'll be able to show you a little more progress on shop organization, which is brutally important. Really, it's a win-win. Dad's getting the shop set up. I'm getting this one set up. Life is good. Cheers.